What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. No fancy schmancy editing on this episode. You know, it's been quite a hectic news week here in the watch world. I feel like it was literally this morning that we did an episode on Piaget being dethroned by Bulgari and their Octo Finissimo Ultra for the world's thinnest watch. If you haven't seen that episode, I'll leave a link in the description. I'll put a link up here that you can click on. But yeah, in a matter of a day, now everyone's moved on to Swatch's collaboration with Omega for the MoonSwatch release, and not everybody is in agreement when it comes to this release. Some people are very excited, and some people are very upset, and I can't really say for good reason. And here's why, okay? I'm going to bring up Tudor. I know you didn't think I'd bring up Tudor in this episode, but I'm actually not bagging on them in this episode, so hear me out. A lot of people accuse me of gatekeeping Rolex whenever I say Tudor is not Rolex, right? They say, oh, you're just trying to gatekeep this brand that you covet. Well, the truth is, it's actually quite the opposite, okay? I'm actually thinking that you should probably give Tudor more credit because there are cool things about certain Tudor watches. Like, I think the Pelagos is one of the best divers out there right now. Titanium, 600 meter water resistance rating. You have the option of left-hand drive if you want, or right hand. It's just a really, really cool watch. But what I'm trying to say is Tudor is cool without it having a lineage to Rolex. Like, we can separate these two brands. So when I say Tudor is not Rolex, I'm not gatekeeping, but people say I'm gatekeeping. What does this have to do with this Omega Swatch thing? I'm getting those gatekeeper vibes from the people that are upset about this launch, okay? I've heard people say that this Swatch Omega collaboration is a bastardization of one of the most prolific chronographs ever made. I've heard that this cheapens Omega as a brand. I've heard that this now makes all Omega Speedmaster owners no better than a dastardly Swatch owner. I think this is a joke, and I think that you are definitely a gatekeeper if you have that philosophy around this. I feel the exact opposite, all right? And let's talk about what these watches are, and then I'll give you my opinion. But people have asked me what I think because I am an Omega Speedmaster professional MoonWatch, and it happens to be a limited edition owner. Actually, I made an episode about it. I'm gonna show this to you. I made this, let's see, August 29th, 2017. And I titled it Aliens Are Real. Guys, you have to give me a break here. 2017, this is like within a month of me starting my YouTube channel. And I thought it was really, really funny to make a Moonwatch episode titled Aliens Are Real. Notice, since 2017, only 8,000 views, okay? That's probably because it doesn't have Omega Speedmaster, Omega Chronograph. It doesn't have any watch related thing in the title. I just thought it was super funny to say aliens are real. Also, I did a little skit here with a tinfoil hat, and I actually had a bunch more hair, and I was a bit heavier then. But anyway, if you want to go support the channel, watch this episode, leave a funny comment, and yeah, I'll really appreciate it. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is because I do have a dog in the fight, so to speak. I own an Omega Speedy Professional, all right? A Moonwatch, not one of these Moon Swatches. Gear Patrol, get out of here. So what are we talking about? Well, Hodenki's expert copywriting. We're ready to talk about the Omega Swatch Moonwatch. We're ready to talk about it. So, these variants are actually not my favorite. I do appreciate that this one here in the middle is kind of like the more classic one. There's also this, which looks a whole lot like an actual Speedy Pro that is out. So these two actually look like various Speedy Pros that you can buy for thousands and thousands of dollars, but instead you can spend under $300 for these. My favorite iteration is I think Gear Patrol has it. It's this one, which is like the tan orange handset. I think it's really, really cool. So you see there's a bunch to choose from, and it's because all of these correspond with various planets. Now, you can read this Hodenki article. I'm sure it's all well and good, and they have some really cool close-ups. Actually, this is the one I really like. You can see that this is a coated case. It's bioceramic. Very, very interesting. But believe it or not, I think GQ had the best write-up. Here are the details. 11 pieces, all named after planets, each with their own unique colorway. It comes with a Velcro strap. Why is this interesting? Because the astronauts that wore these Omega Speedies wore them on Velcro straps, believe it or not. Another interesting thing is, this it's kind of burgundy with that off-white dial. Looks very, very nice as well. Down here are the details. So how to get one of these. All right, we'll just jump into this right now. They'll be displayed in the windows of 70 Omega stores and 110 Swatch stores around the world starting March 24th and March 25th, but they will only be available to purchase from Swatch stores. So you can look at them at various Omega boutiques, but you can only purchase them at Swatch stores. I think that's interesting. It gets people into these Swatch stores, and you know, Swatch watches are more affordable, and that it's, you know, once you pop the fun, don't stop. It's probably a great ploy to get people in these Swatch stores. Say, hey, I want one of these Omegas. Also, this one looks pretty fun, and this one looks pretty fun, and this one looks pretty fun. Swatch is kind of the toy arm of Swatch Group watches, and I don't mean that like I'm not trying to disparage Swatch watches. I own Swatch watches, but what I'm saying is they're typically kind of out there in design. They're more fun. They're more casual. You're not going to get hard-hitting complications. You're not going to get haute horlogerie from a Swatch watch. They're just fun, and a lot of us started our watch collecting journeys with Swatch watches. So, okay. Each watch costs $250, and you'll only be able to purchase 2 at a time. They're trying to combat these scalpers who are, you know, wanting to order a whole bunch and then hold on to them and sell them at a premium. So it's kind of nice that they're doing their due diligence, trying to fight back against something that would so easily be exploited by scalpers, because you put any limited edition Swatch, but you put Omega on the dial, and you put MoonWatch anywhere, MoonSwatch, you put Speedmaster on the dial. Boy, I bet they're very upset that they're not able to scalp these. So good on Omega, good on Swatch Group for kind of seeing that and taking the steps to mitigate that. Okay, so now that we know what we're looking at, let's see, Gear Patrol. You can see a bunch of these. Really interesting that you can get some that look like iterations of Speedy Pros, but in a bioceramic case, and for $260 instead of $6,400. So now we're getting into how I feel about this. All right. People that are gatekeeping this and saying that it's bastardizing actual Speedmasters, I think that's the wrong way to look at it, okay? We can acknowledge that Omega has made one of the most prolific chronographs ever with the Speedmaster. We can also acknowledge that most watch enthusiasts really do cherish the really interesting history when it comes to these watches that have accomplished great feats like going to the moon, right? So even if you're not an Omega fanboy, even if you don't really like chronographs, there's something to be said. I think most watch enthusiasts have a soft spot for the Speedmaster because it's literally gone to the moon. It's something that's kind of incomprehensible. It's something, you know, we look at longingly. We live under the stars. We live under the moon. We look at it every night. And to think that one of these watches has been there, maybe I'm being a little bit too woo-woo, a little bit too romantic, but I think even if you don't really like Omegas in general, you like the Speedmaster because it's kind of transcended brand, right? It's kind of transcended any type of complication. When I think of the Speedmaster, I don't immediately necessarily think chronograph. I think Speedmaster. It's kind of its own thing, right? Comment in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of it's kind of transcended Omega. It's just its own thing. It's a very impressive thing. And the fact that Omega and Swatch Group has allowed Omega to, introduce these to the masses in a way. These are not limited, by the way, apparently, according to all the media sites that I've been able to see. These are not limited. So they're honestly allowing enthusiasts to get something with the Omega insignia, with the Speedmaster signage on the dial for under $300. That's awesome. That is awesome. I know every watch collector that I talk to respects the Omega Speedmaster, but not every watch collector I know can shell out the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars it would cost to buy one. Right? So them releasing one at a very affordable price point in some really funny colorways, really fun colorways. That yellow one's kind of funny, actually. I wouldn't wear that one, but hey, this one's kind of cool. I'm a bigger fan of these muted tones. This tan one's awesome, and dude, this kind of off-white burgundy one is amazing. But yeah, if you take issue with them making the Speedmaster more accessible, that says more about you than it does about Swatch Group doing this. I think this is badass, and I think it's really cool that Omega agreed to go along with this. I know that one of the exposés here, why would Omega collab with Swatch? People will likely ask whether or not Omega had a choice in partaking in this collaboration. It's a question Omega CEO is happy to answer. If this would have only been a recycled Swatch or the normal shape of this watch, and just putting a name on it, I would have been totally against it. What we've been able to do that by having okay, I'm bad at reading if you couldn't tell. Essentially what he's saying is it's really cool that he's able to actually make something interesting and not just slap a recycled or a logo on a recycled watch design, right? That's cool. That's cool. They wanted to make something cool for the people that want one of these. I appreciate that. Here's what's interesting. I feel like this is this is going to get me in trouble for even bringing this up. Not everybody has to agree with me. That's perfectly fine. All right. And I'm usually not one to be like, yo, my opinion is so obvious. It's like freaking weird that other people don't have the same opinion as me. But I feel like this is so harmless, and this is so like clearly a good thing to allow a bunch of watch collectors, new and old, to get an Omega Speedmaster, something celebrating the MoonSwatch. Like, that's such a clear good thing that it kind of boggles my mind that people are able to see it otherwise. But hey, I mean, like I always say on my channel, differing opinions make the world go round. I think that's awesome that we're able to have an open conversation and sometimes disagree and sometimes debate, sometimes maybe even argue. That's perfectly fine. If you're one of the people in the comment section, or if you're one of the people that feels differently than I do about this and you think this is a bad idea, please, in the comment section, sound off, and we will all make fun of you. No, I genuinely would love to hear your perspective, because I feel like this is so clearly good. Yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I'm not the hugest Swatch guy. I'm not the hugest Swatch Group guy. I like Omegas. I own a Speedy, and I've owned various Seamasters throughout the years. Actually, we had two at the shop. We just sold one this morning, but there is one really cool Seamaster at the shop right now. But yeah, guys, I think this is awesome. I think this is really cool. And don't be surprised if you see one on my wrist, because I think I'm actually going to try to go out and get one of these. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And if you happen to get one, please write to me on Instagram at @theSimpleConsultant, _simple_consultant, and send me a picture, and I'll repost it, because that's so cool, dude. All right, well, that's kind of all I have to say about it. So, guys, leave me that comment. What do you think about this? I guess I should tell the time. It's 11:26 p.m. Let's get down to business, but we're not doing an intro or anything, don't worry. And yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I will catch you on the next one. And leave me a comment, guys. All right, love you.